Good morning from the office. It's Tuesday morning, a rainy Tuesday morning here in North Georgia. I hope you're doing well. Wow, you know what? It was not quite the Monday night. Monday night, trees came down, lightning flashed, everything went on. But last night was a good hard rain, and so I enjoyed that. Nice sleeping rain. Tonight. Well, first, let me tell you a couple things. Number one, today we continue our candidate interviews. Almost every single day, with the exception of Friday, I need even a day off from politics. Almost every single day, we will, from now to May 22nd, we will be doing candidate interviews. Local, state, and some national candidates, some congressional candidates, whatever you name it. We will be doing interviews here every day. And today we're going to go in another direction. At 8:30, we're going to have in studio Tucker Green. Tucker Green is a candidate for the Pickens County Board of Education. And so we're going to have him in studio at 8:30. Mr. Green will be here with us, Pickens County Board of Education. And then we're going to go at 9 o'clock. We're going to have a call-in from Republican primary candidate Jim Beck for Georgia State Insurance Commissioner. So that's at 9 o'clock. And then from 9:30 to 10, I'm going to say whatever the hell I want for 30 minutes. And from 8:02 to 8:25, I'm going to say whatever the hell I want. Right? Right? I mean, I didn't mean to say it quite that way, but it's pretty much.
It's the truth.
It's the truth. There you go. Now, tonight is the first state dinner, okay? President Donald Trump. And he will be hosting, Melania and Donald will be hosting the French President Macron. You got to say it like that, Macron. And so the only thing I got out of the Chris Wallace interview was fair and unfair. That's fair and unfair for you over there eating French fries or American fries. Remember that? Remember when we ditched the French fries? Remember that? Patriot fries? Remember when we went Patriot fries? We got all upset. Well, anyhow, Macron and Donald. See, they're going to have like the meal tonight, okay? The meal is like a pterodactyl egg, infused with, tangerine juice and covered with raspberry cream. And Donald can't wait to sneak back in the kitchen for a Big Mac and a Diet Coke. He don't understand. Donald's like, so if it's a state dinner, we get 2 Big Macs, right? I mean, come on. I mean, don't you get tired of that? And I really, seriously, a first look inside the Trump state dinner, okay? Pomp and circumstance arrive at the White House in grand style Tuesday for the first state dinner of Trump's presidency in honor of French President Emmanuel Macron. First Lady Melania has personally overseen planning for the dinner, which has been decorated in creme and gold colors. Whatever. So there's going to be 1,200 bunches of cherry blossoms, 2,500 stems of white sweet peas, and nearly 1,000 stems of white lilac all over. It's going to be a nice smelly affair. Everything's going to smell good. Dinner is served in the formal dining room. Let's see the menu. What is on the menu? Let's see what they're having. I can't read that. Goat cheese? Come on. Buttermilk biscuit crumbles. What is this? A rack of lamb. And then the pterodactyl egg is like for cream, something ice cream, and nectarine tart. They're going to have a nectarine tart. Whatever. I just don't know why they can't have a couple Big Macs and everybody kick back and play, Xbox or something. All right, so that's the state dinner. That's the serious side of the news. I was thinking this also. I've got some serious things I want to talk about. But just this morning, it hit me. Donald Trump has taken away the October surprise. Remember the political October surprise? Remember in October, something would break about the candidate? So when Donald runs again, what's going to happen in October? We're going to find out he had an affair with a porn star? What are we going to find out? I mean, are we going to find out that Putin called him and said, our hookers are great? You know what I mean, Amanda? I mean, Trump has totally blown up what I call the October surprise. Do you understand where I'm going there?
Yeah, I know where you're going.
Yes, okay, it's just fun. I think it's funny. It just hit me, okay? One more thing before I get into the serious note of the day of Mike Pompeo. No thanks to Johnny Isaacson, no pictures yet. So I don't like to, I try not to get, say, all right, so I like to go shopping in the morning. All right, there you go. I don't even like the word shopping, but I like to go in the morning when nobody's, there. It's just me and the guy or the lady that's riding a little waxing machine on the Walmart floor. That's the only two people in the store. So I go over there and I'm cruising around with my buggy and I go to the automatic checkout there. So first of all, they got us doing our own work, right? They gave us a job, we didn't even know it, and we're checking ourselves out, right? So the other night I'm watching an episode of Roseanne, all right? And that's how I just relax, unwind. So I'm watching an episode of Roseanne. She's got the little kid there. She's got the kid trained, and she's checking out at the place and scanning stuff, right? So all of a sudden, she gives the kid the cue, and she pushes whatever it is over the scanner, a pack of bacon, and put it in the bag, and the kid beeps. And the other lady looks at her and says, "So you're stealing?" She said, "No. They decided to put me to work here and make me do a job. So I charge a pack of bacon," which, I thought was a little humorous. But anyhow, I've always wondered how, like if something doesn't scan and goes into the bag, who is really monitoring this if somebody throws something in the bag? So this morning I'm standing there and I'm checking out, and all of a sudden I'm looking at myself on this big screen in front of the checkout. Have you noticed that, Amanda?
Yep. And
it caught me off guard, because there I look up and I say, who is this guy? And it's me. So I look right there at the checkout, and I say to the lady standing there, I said, wow, when did you install these? I don't want to say, I don't go there that often, once a month maybe. So I said, when did you install these screens? I mean, is this so you... She said, if you look at that screen real close, you can see everything. So now they got you, if you don't slide and it doesn't beep and it goes in there, they got an ID of you and everything. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. Just caught me off guard. I know I wasted time.
Everything is getting so much more just in depth.
Well, exactly. Exactly. I mean, I got it. So they recorded my photo. They videoed me and have me on file there. I'm on file, right, Amanda? I hope that's not the only file I hope that's the only file I'm on. Okay. So Mike Pompeo. Let's go over a couple quick things, all right? Mike Pompeo made it out of the Senate Foreign Relations Committee. Almost. Now, I just want to bring this into your brain, okay? And I say this in the nicest way. Stop and think about this. Almost the first cabinet position nominee to not get a favorable nod, a positive vote out of committee to the floor of the Senate. Almost the first. Really? Almost the first. It just stopped to make me think. Okay? So you got Mike Pompeo. Do I have any? Don't put the picture of Pompeo up if I don't have one by himself yet. I want to save that when you know why. So he's almost the first one. Now what happens is you go into Senate Foreign Relations Committee, right? And the majority is the chair. You have the majority chairs, which would be the Republicans. Let's just make this real simple, okay? So the majority in the room are Republicans. The minority are Democrats. So if you have these Senate Foreign Relations hearings, and then you're done and you go into committee and you vote, if Republicans vote yes and Democrats vote no, all right, or one or two Democrats vote yes, or whatever, then you move to the floor, okay, for a vote and you are recommended out of committee. You come out of the committee, and the committee comes out, whether it's exactly like this, but it's somewhat how it works. Committee comes out and says, hey, hear ye. We, the committee, say that this is the person that we're putting before you for a vote, and we're going to recommend his confirmation as the next Secretary of State. That's what's supposed to happen. But Republicans, no thanks to Johnny Isakson, let's put him up, okay? No thanks to Georgia Senator Johnny Isakson. Okay, now yesterday we're told Johnny Isakson, these people play so many games. They are so swampy, okay? They are so corrupt. Now, I understand that all of you people that have a heartfelt string for Johnny here, all of you that feel that Johnny was giving a eulogy for his dear friend, okay? And he could not make the Senate vote because the difficulty he was going through in this funeral, giving a eulogy for his dear friend, he could not make this Senate vote. To vote yes in the time of need for his country. To vote yes in a time of need for a Secretary of State right before we go over to North Korea to try to repair the disaster that's been made, Democrats and Republicans. So Johnny's giving a eulogy. I'm not saying that's not true, right? But because Johnny's giving a eulogy, all right, here's what really happened, folks. Rand Paul came out and gave a yes. Let's switch to Johnny didn't make it. We'll go back, Johnny. Let's switch over to Rand Paul. Rand Paul switched his vote to a yes, okay? Now, Senator Rand Paul, everybody said, he said, my vote's a no, my vote's a no. I'm telling you, I can tell you right now, Donald J. Trump has liked this guy since the primary debates, okay? This guy spit out some stuff that Donald looked over and said, you know what, Rand, you don't have really, you're not the guy to carry this message. I'll carry it for you. But I like what you say. This is my opinion, because I watched those debates intensively, and I'll tell you, maybe before, but during those debates, Donald Trump ended up really liking this senator, okay? He's no Lindsey Graham to Donald Trump. Donald Trump likes this guy. So he's a no vote. Let's go in here. He's a no vote, and it's highly publicized. So you're watching the news last night, and you get in the earpiece, and I think on the 5, Gutfeld got to say, just in on my earpiece, Rand Paul is a yes. Now watch what happens, folks. Pay attention to the FISA warrant, the FISA court. Pay attention to FISA. Rand Paul got something. He is totally, I don't want to get on a roll and forget and misspeak on the Fourth Amendment. I think it's the Fourth Amendment, okay? But this guy is a protector of the Constitution when it comes to search, seizure, when it comes to your personal information, all right? This guy is a real go-getter, Rand Paul, and he got something. He's a go-getter. He went in there with President Donald Trump, and he said, look, FISA, you renewed the FISA court, whatever it's called, just off the top of my head. I want something here, okay? And Rand Paul got something you're going to find out. Now, sometimes you don't like the deals that are made in politics, but this guy walked in the president's office and made a deal, and he gave a yes vote, and you're getting ready to find out what the president said he will do for Rand Paul. All right? And it's not a round of golf at Mar-a-Lago. So that's being said. Now, let's go back to Johnny. Okay? Tears in his eyes, Johnny. The guy that should not have run last time, Johnny Isakson, but is trying to make it through. And I'm not making light of his physical, his illness. I'm not. Johnny Isakson is a nice guy, but he should no longer be the senator. Can you find him again? Because I can't see across the room, but it looks like the audience is still looking at Rand Paul. Can we get Johnny Isakson back up there? Thank you. All right. Keep your fingers to yourself over there. I don't want to see anything through the window but a thumb. Anyhow, So anyhow, Johnny should have retired. So Johnny's giving a eulogy yesterday, all right, for a friend. Okay, just saying. So what really happens is they can't bring him out of committee because they don't have a majority. They can't bring him out of committee. They're getting ready to try to figure out how to bring him out of committee and say that the Senate Foreign Relations Committee is not. Find me a picture of Senator Cory Booker, please. I apologize. I left that off, so I'm telling the World Wide Web, I apologize to you. I forgot to get that picture. I would like to have one in a minute. Thank you. Anyhow, so Johnny, right, he's not there. They can't bring it out of committee. It's stuck. Can't go to the floor. They're trying to figure out. So I'm telling you what happened yesterday. Isaacson's people are getting swamped with calls. I mean, this guy is looking like the guy, this guy's thinking, oh my God, I'm the guy that's going to bring down the President of the United States nominee for Secretary of State. I'm the guy that's going to stand between Mike Pompeo being the Secretary of State when I voted and sent out of committee, Hillary Clinton. I sent John Kerry out. I sent these people out, and I'm the guy that's going to go down on my record as being absent and not enough votes to get Mike Pompeo on the floor as recommended for Secretary of State. I mean, this guy got in major trouble yesterday afternoon. And I'm not saying by Mitch McConnell. I say, what do? We call in a Democrat. Chris Coons. Do we have Chris Coons' picture, Amanda? Amanda, make sure the only finger I see this morning is your thumb. You got it? So Chris Coons, this guy is the Connecticut. He is the Connecticut senator, Democrat senator from Connecticut. He's got nothing to lose. They're not going to vote him out. They're not going to impeach him. They're not going to run him out of town. So Chris Coons, the Democrat senator from Connecticut, his longtime friend Johnny calls him, and he gives a tearful, heartfelt reason why he's going to vote. He's not going to be present. He's going to be considered not present. This is the show that went on yesterday to get Mike Pompeo's nomination to the floor. So Chris Coons is not present. So they concoct this whole Johnny called Chris. My friend Johnny called and he's tore up over his friend. He just gave a eulogy and Johnny's a good man and a colleague and we go way back and I could not do this to Johnny. Right? Oh my God. So here's the end of this. What did we do? We relied on a Democrat. Stay with me, folks, whether you like it or not. We relied on a Democrat to get something to the floor, being our Secretary of State, Mike Pompeo, for a confirmation vote. Who's in charge? I am so lost that we are concerned about losing the House of Representatives. The House of Representatives like them, don't like your representative, think they're a rhino, think they're establishment Republicans. No matter what you may think, the House of Representatives have passed over 400 pieces of legislation. You may like the legislation, you may not like the legislation. You may think the legislation the House passed is terrible, but I will tell you this. The House of Representatives have passed over 400 pieces of legislation. Okay? Where are they at? Dead on the floor of the Senate. Because we can't get nominees confirmed on the Senate. We can't get positions filled in the Senate. But Chuck Grassley and them have enough time to try to put a phony bill on the floor to protect who? Robert Mueller. Folks, wake up. What the hell is going on? We relied on a Democrat to get him in. We had Chris Coons bring it home. Now, let me just say one more thing on this subject. Did you find a picture of Cory Booker? Amanda McFly. I know you have a friend in the studio, but did you find a picture? See, there you go. Did you find one, yes or no? Give me a thumbs up or thumbs down. Anyway, there he is. Don't yell at me. Whatever you do, don't
I'm
yell
gonna yell at you.
Don't yell at me, please. Please don't yell at me. And please only give me a thumbs up. No other fingers today. Okay, this is Cory Booker. This is New Jersey Senator Cory Booker, folks. You know what Cory Booker's concern is? Gay marriage. Okay, whatever. It's your thing. Do what you want to do. But the Secretary of State, his biggest concern is Mike Pompeo's view on gay marriage. I'm not joking. This is why this guy cannot vote for Mike Pompeo. Now, the concern on how gays are treated in Iran, when Hillary Clinton was dropping the plane down in Iran, no concern. The concerns on how gays are treated in the LGBTQ community in these other parts of the world that John Kerry and Hillary Clinton were going into, no problem with those Secretary of States. You know, Mike Pompeo is not Secretary of State of Illinois. I know you might have got confused. It's world diplomacy. I'm just saying. So maybe, Cory Booker, for you, Mike Pompeo will be much better with the LGBTQ community in Pakistan, or Pakistan, as Obama used to say. That set me off. That just set me off. Johnny Isakson, nice guy. Okay, nice guy. But guess what? Johnny's doing a eulogy, and we had to call in a Democrat. Who's in charge, folks? I cannot believe the House of Representatives is in jeopardy when they have moved 400 pieces of legislation to the Senate, and the Senate is the one that seems like it's safe for the Republicans or whoever they are. Okay, I got a couple things before I go to break. Okay, now, the second thing, this morning, they have moved, okay? They have moved back to, they have nothing. I watched MSNBC at 6 a.m. this morning. Joe and Mika, they have nothing. Little Willie, they have nothing. They couldn't go Russia. I have told you before, there is a deep state, and the deep state has only one agenda. The agenda is very easy to identify. The agenda is to remove the President of the United States. Period. Nonstop. And they got a big chalkboard. I'm saying this just as a visual. They got a big chalkboard, and they've got a list of things that they go to on a daily basis to attack your President of the United States. Never a positive word. Never anything nice about this guy, okay? And when Russia is not working, they go down the scale. Now the scale is what? They've gone back to the cabinet position takedown, okay? Cabinet position takedown. So the takedown, they went back this morning to Scott Pruitt. Scott Pruitt, tick, tick, tick from CNN, all right? This came out this morning, less than 48 hours. This came out, yes, April 24th at 5 o'clock this morning. I read this article. Less than 48 hours after the New York Times published a lengthy front-page piece dealing Scott Pruitt's long pattern of ethical dicey moves prior to being named EPA chief, the White House defense of him are clearly softening. As it's softening, they're trying to tell the President of the United States, hey, everybody around this guy is starting to flip on him. Maybe we will trick you into running him off. Asked about the series of recent negative headlines on Pruitt, White House Press Secretary Sarah Sanders responded Monday, we are continuing to review a number of reports that you've mentioned and will let you know if we have any changes on that front. Okay, so today we're back to cabinet position takedown. Okay, now let me explain. Okay, maybe I could get it here. Maybe I can't. I hope I can. Let me see which one it is. I think I have it here. Okay. Okay. Now, all right. Today, let me see what it is. I had 9 articles. Hold on. Okay, they cut me off, folks. I just have to say they cut me off. Okay.
They did it.
Well, here's what it is this one company, I won't mention their names, but they're owned by the guy that owns Amazon, Bezos. Is that his name?
Yes.
Okay. Well,
Bezos did this to you?
yeah, he did it to me because what happened is they'll only give me, all right, they'll only give me so many articles a month, and then they want my money. And Amazon has already got enough of my money. Anyhow, okay, I can't read the entire story, but what it is it's from the Washington Post, and they'll only let me read 5 a month, and then they want me to try it for a month for $1, but no way. All right, what it is, let me explain. Scott Pruitt takedown is motivated by this. He is implementing a regulation on how science can be used. And I'm going to get the article, how science can be used, all right, to determine some things, certain science. So what they want to do is they don't want to let just any science in the mix, and it's messing them up at the EPA. They want to take down Dr. Jackson. What's his name? Where's he at? Dr. Jackson, all right? They want to take down the confirmation hearings from, is it Mike Jackson? Is he the one?
Ronnie Jackson.
Ronnie Jackson for VA Secretary. Why? Because the Veterans Administration the VA has over 300 and some thousand employees, folks. 300 and some thousand work for the VA. This guy is named the new head of the VA. They want to take him down because what if the same thing happens to the VA that is happening to the EPA? All right, we're going to talk about that at 9:30. Please, at 9:30, come back for that, all right? And then last but not least, put up the mustache, Trump and Pompeo. There you go, folks. Because when Mike Pompeo is confirmed, they're all three going to get on Air Force One. The mustache, National Security Advisor Michael Bolton, okay, Donald J. Trump, and Secretary of State Mike Pompeo. They're going to get on Air Force One. They're going to get the Big Macs rolling. They're going to get the Diet Cokes. They're going to supersize those fries, and they're going to head over there and make a deal with Rocket Man in North Korea, and then you're going to be looking. There's the picture. You might have to, scrap Mount Rushmore and start a whole new mountain. There you go. I'm your host, BKP. We're going to take a break. Oh, Awani brothers. Put them up. Deborah Wasserman Schultz. We're going to talk about this. And the Awani brothers, Awan, okay? Now, I'm going to tell you, former D.C. homicide detective Rod Wheeler, okay, told me to keep an eye on this right here, Awan brothers. We're going to talk about that because it's interesting. The DNC lawsuit may backfire on the DNC. We're going to be right back, and we're going to start our candidate interviews in the morning. We're going to have Tucker Green's going to be in here with us. Okay, we're going to have 30 minutes with him, and then we will have Republican primary candidate for Georgia State Insurance Commissioner Jim Beck will be with us at 9 o'clock. Take us a break, Amanda. Okay, Amanda.
Tupelo Tea mission is to provide over 80 premium tea blends for tea lovers who are looking for ways to explore new flavors and blends. Come visit Tupelo Tea, located in beautiful downtown Blue Ridge at Sycamore Crossing. Be sure to sample our various varieties of honey and tea. Visit us on the web at tupelotea.com or call us at 706-946-TEAS. That's TEAS. Tupelo Tea, located in beautiful downtown Blue Ridge.
Ace is your helpful place for paint and home goods, tools, outdoor living, and lawn equipment. But did you know Ace Hardware of Blue Ridge is a little bit more? We have hunting rifles and accessories for your next hunting trip. We have Amish furniture imported directly from Ohio. And we have Ace Custom Woodworks for all your custom wood project needs, from cabinets to artwork. Ace Hardware of Blue Ridge. We have your new house in stock.
Hi, I'm Rhonda the Mattress Lady, and this is my husband Gary, owners of Mattress Overstocked in LJ next to Walmart. And we want to earn your business. From the time you walk in our door to the time we deliver your new mattress to your door, you will see the difference. Our selection and prices are the best in North Georgia, and customer service is our top priority. So y'all come on in and let us help you find the right mattress at the right price. That's Mattress Overstocked in LJ next to Walmart.
Days ahead. Yellow pollen means green cash at Days Chevrolet in Jasper. The spring savings event is on at Days, and the discounts are deep. Now save up to $11,000 off select new 2018 Chevy Silverados, or up to $6,000 off select new 2018 Equinox. Pick any Chevy you want and save a bunch during the spring savings event going on now at Days Chevrolet in Jasper, where new Chevys cost less.
Better days ahead, Days Chevrolet.
Find new roads.
What you gonna do with all that junk?
Hello, my name is Chad Watkins. I'm the manager at Larry's Body Shop. We are a family-owned and operated business and have been serving the North Georgia area since 1978. We are located at 1216 Progress Road in LJ, Georgia. Our shop specializes in collision repair, and we work with all major insurance companies. Larry's Body Shop is ICAR Gold, the highest role of training recognized by the collision repair industry. It is estimated that only 10% of collision shops meet these standards. Our shop consists of state-of-the-art equipment such as laser measurement system, down-drive spray booth, spot and MIG welding equipment. All of our paints are mixed on-site so that we can guarantee your paint to match every time. I know that having an accident can be a stressful event. We take pride in making sure our customers are satisfied with the repair of their vehicles. Our waiting area is clean and comfortable with free Wi-Fi and refreshing beverages. So if you're in an accident, stop by and see us at Larry's Body Shop.
Circuit World, brand name merchandise at unbelievably low prices. Furniture, appliances, and electronics. Circuit World is locally owned and operated, serving the tri-state area. Circuit World has highly trained professionals to help. Visit your hometown Circuit World today. 3 locations in Georgia: LJ, Blue Ridge, and Blairsville, Franklin, and Murphy, North Carolina. No credit checks, so let Circuit World deliver to you today.
North Georgia Diamond is your source for diamonds. Come on in to view the area's largest selection of fine jewelry at North Georgia Diamond. All repairs and designs are done on-site by our jewelers. And North Georgia Diamond has the lowest prices on loose diamonds. You can also sell your gold, silver, and coins at North Georgia Diamond between Walmart and Lowe's in East LJ. Locally owned by Bill and Allison Craig, North Georgia Diamond is your source for diamonds in North Georgia.
In 1981, Reed Nicholson began selling tires out of an old barn in Mineral Bluff. Little did he know that he had just laid the groundwork for the most trusted names in automotive services in the Blue Ridge area. In 1997, Nicholson Tire Center became what it is today, holding the same values of faith, family, and great customer service.
One.
And we're back. I'm your host, BKP. Good morning from the office, North Georgia's only live online morning show. And we continue our candidate interviews. And joining me now, Tucker Green, candidate for Pickens County on the Republican ticket, Pickens County Board of Education. Mr. Green, how are you today?
Good. How are you? Thanks for having me.
I'm doing great. Let me ask you a question right out of the box. Is this your first time running for office?
This is my first time running for office for Pickens County Board of Education, Post 3.
Post 3. Now, why did you decide to run for office? Let's get into it. It's your first campaign. Why Pickens County Board of Education? And let's just dig right in. What do you see there that you want to be a member of the Board of Education?
Well, Brian, first off, you know, Pickens County, I was raised there. It's deeply important to me. As cliche as that might sound, I have a deep love for the county. I'm a product of the Pickens County school system. I went K through 12 there, Hill City Elementary, Jasper Middle School, and Pickens High School. And really what it came down to at the end of the day, when I got to thinking about it, the future success of Pickens County is deeply important to me, and I could think of nothing more important than a sturdy educational foundation for the future generations coming up. You know, I believe deeply that if Pickens County schools does not succeed, Pickens County will not succeed in the future. And so, you know, I believe I can really bring a unique perspective to the board, not being that far removed from the school system, being a product of it, being out in the real world now and seeing kind of how their preparation of the students, you know, applies and translates into the real world, areas we can improve and things like that. So that's why I decided to run. And I think it's going well so far. We've been able to meet with a lot of people out in the community and looking forward to it.
Well, let me say this, because you said you're not far removed from it. Are you saying, you know, it's not been that long ago that you were a student there yourself?
Well, that's right, yes. As you can maybe tell, I'm a little younger than some candidates will be, and I didn't graduate too long ago from Pickens High School. You know, but I was extremely involved and have been extremely involved since I left school. I graduated class president, Mr. PHS, involved in a lot of civil organizations around the community in Pickens County, involved within the school system and out, and been involved a lot since I've left. I've had the opportunity to actually work with Pickens County government some, so I come from a family business, long time, pretty large small business, and they've you know, so I have that background. I've had some government experience, and I think all that come together will really help me bring that unique perspective.
Well, let me just say this, and the good thing that I enjoy in doing the interviews, for the most part, the people that come in, I do know, and in disclosing this morning, I remember taking your picture at graduation, and I remember, I know on Friday nights, you've been on one side of the sideline, and we've passed each other on Friday nights at the football game many times. So I am aware of your roots, your dedication to Pickens County High School, the school system. I'm aware of that, and you don't have to convince me. So when I say convince, here's the things that you may have to convince some voters.
Right.
You're currently a full-time student.
Correct, yes.
Over at UGA.
Correct.
Okay, how do you balance being a full-time student over at UGA and being a Pickens County school board member?
Well, that's a great question. I'm glad you asked that. And I've had some people ask me that too. And what I try to stress to people is, first off, technically school board is a part-time position, although I don't approach it as a part-time position, and I think you ask any board member, they'd tell you it's not really a part-time position. But it's designed largely where people would have a job anyway, a full-time job, and many board members do have a full-time job, some out of town. And that's really the way I view it. This is my full-time job in a lot of ways, and it just happens to be out of town. But, you know, if I thought for a second that I couldn't fully dedicate myself to the office and to the responsibilities that comes with it, I can tell you I would not be running. But I'm confident that I'll be able to manage and that I will be able to be here in Pickens County, be present as I am already, and really dedicate myself completely to the job.
So you can adjust your schedule of classes to try to make sure, and you know, there are situations where people do work out of town. There are situations where people have to work late, can't make a meeting, and that's understandable. It is a part-time position, school board. But you make a commitment to the voters to make the adjustments, maybe in some class schedule, to where generally the meetings, the regular meetings, you will be able to attend.
That's correct. Yes, I commit that I'm going to do everything I can to adjust my schedule, be as flexible as I can to where I can be here. More than just meetings, be here at events, be it athletic events, fine art events, academic events, and because I think that's important that we're here and involved and you know, as hands-on as we can be.
There's fiduciary duties of a board member. We're looking in the area of a $42 million budget.
Right.
It's a lot of money, $42 million in a school system.
Yes.
Okay. Explain to me and the voters how you feel you're prepared to make these kind of financial decisions when it comes time to putting a budget together, what is presented for approval for a budget, and how deep have you looked into that budget?
Right. Well, another good question. I think, as I said earlier, my roots, my family is a business owners, ran a business for over 45 years. So I grew up in that, and budgets and employees and things of that nature is no foreign concept to me. But now that's private sector, and as I told you, I've worked with county government for the past 2 years, Pickens County government, and I can tell you, if anyone's not looked into it, a government budget and private sector budget are completely different, and it's a different animal in itself. And I've had a lot of exposure, thankfully, to some government budgets in the past couple of years, how they work, the process, coming about it. I like to say the alphabet soups of fund bowls. You got your SPLOST and your LMIGs and your eSPLOST as far as Board of Ed goes, and so many others. And there's so many, it's really complex, and a lot of people don't understand the funding at all the different levels. And education is even more complex than I believe county government as far as funding goes. You got federal, state, local dollars coming in. You got all kinds of different tax revenues coming in that are allocated for certain things. And I believe I have a good grip on that, a good understanding of how that works. And you know, we have a great staff at Pickens County Schools that I'm familiar with, have worked with some, that I think do a pretty good job of running the finances. I think, you know, there's a lot of areas to look at. It is a pretty large budget. It's the largest government budget in Pickens County, like most counties are. Your school system budget is the largest. But overall, they do a pretty good job. I think the school system's in a pretty good financial situation. And, you know, I will always, I'm a conservative. That's where I come from. I'll always go with a fiscal mind and trying to always spend the tax dollars wisely. And that's always the approach I'm going to do, and make decisions that I think are justifiable to benefit the school system.
Okay, let me go back to that a little bit, because I like to dig into that, and it doesn't matter if it's a county commission seat, Board of Education seat. I never change this focus where the candidate's concerned is the budget. One, yes, the Board of Education isn't. You have to get a book of acronym definitions when you go to Board of Education. Okay, we know that, right?
Right.
And second, yes, there's a lot in this budget. Have you reviewed the budget? Have you actually looked over the budget and reviewed it?
I have looked over the budget. I haven't dove into it as much as I would like to. I'm continuing to do that. It's a pretty large budget. I guess you've looked at it.
Yes.
As you know, and there's a lot in it. But I have generally looked at the budget, yes.
Well, I don't like to bring a candidate in and start drilling into certain areas, because of the fact that you know, that until you're inside, there are things you don't see. There's the binder you don't see when you're a candidate, as opposed to being in the inside. So But what I do like to know is that a candidate did take the position serious enough to go get the budget and at least start looking through it.
Yes.
Now, there's a lot of things in there also, and it's it can get a little convoluted because you mentioned a minute ago, you have different programs, and almost every single program has government subsidy, the state supplement, and the local supplement. And every program has so much percent, so it can be confusing and complicated. You ready for that kind of stuff?
I believe I am. I've had a lot of exposure in different things. I said private sector, government work. I had accounting courses. I'd say I've had probably more recent accounting courses than some people. And again, that's just the position I'm in. And so, I believe so. And, as I said, I'll always, I'm fully committed to the voters to doing my best, doing my due diligence on every decision I make, especially when it comes to taxpayer dollars.
Okay. Pickens County senior tax exemption. We don't have the time to get so deep into it, but let me just put this whole thing in a box and then you explain it the best of your ability here for the voters. Pickens County currently, the school board tax is $17 million. Okay? Right. The state says you can only max 20. The state says that you can only levy as school board 20 mil on the citizens.
Right.
If you had to go over 20 mil, you have to go back to the state legislature and kindly say, here's my reasons why, and get a special exemption to go over 20.
Right.
I'm good. You have a fund balance. Okay? If your fund balance continue to eat out of a fund balance, you have to start raising millage rate. Now, senior tax exemption. If you need $42 million to operate this year, if Pickens County School says they need $42 million to operate, that means they're saying they need it next year.
Right.
So could you put in a box what happens if there's an exemption for seniors? And I'm not trying to be negative to seniors. It's just something that's going to be on a ballot, the question, right?
Yes. Yeah, this is a big issue going on in Pickens County, as you know, and many have got involved with it. I'm encouraged to see so many people taking the initiative to get involved on both sides, and then those in the middle who are just trying to educate themselves and figure the issue out. Right now, Pickens County has a senior tax exemption with a maximum income of $25,000. Basically, I'm not going to get into the complexities of the exemption.
I understand.
Homestead, this and that, but there is an exemption for seniors in Pickens County. And what we have is there's a group of seniors in Pickens County, and I don't want to speak for them, but they want to kind of expand that exemption to cover more senior citizens within the county. There's been several different proposals, just a type of blanket exemption for senior citizens of a certain age. Once they meet that age, they're exempt from school tax. Further, there's been set at certain income levels, raising it to in the hundreds of thousands of dollar range. There was a couple of different proposals, and that was one of the ones that they ended up going with that will be on the ballot, is the potential to propose that. But it's centered around forming a committee, basically, that will study, if they vote that option, they will study the school exemption, and then it will be set, recommended by the committee, to my understanding, and then voted on, I believe, by the state legislature. But one of the big concerns that I know a lot of people have in Pickens County is that if you increase a senior tax exemption substantially and you exempt them from paying school tax, it is going to severely lower the revenue coming into the school system.
Exactly.
And the only option you're going to have is either you can, not replace that, which that's not an option. Your schools begin to fail and you have all kinds of problems. Or you're going to have to shift that tax burden on the rest of the population. And so it's a really, really delicate issue because, we sympathize for senior citizens. As you said, it's nothing against senior citizens. We sympathize for them completely. And several of them are in difficult situations, and I understand that. I've talked with many of them. But the reality is, if we go forward with some type of blanket exemption that removes them from the tax revenue on the school system, I believe, and I believe it's the consensus of many people in Pickens County, that it would really, really hurt, be a detriment to the school system. And then it's going to really hurt a great deal of the population of taxpayers.
Well, I'm here to say that if you say as a school system you need 42 million today, and I don't know whether they need it or not, but if
Right.
you're saying I need 42 million today, next year you're saying I need 42 million, and if you take out of that, where do you get it from? It does shift the burden.
Right.
And that's why I started out with you're at 17 mils, you can only go to 20,
Right.
and you have a fund balance, and you want at least 4 months to 6 months, but 4 months of operating capital in case there's any kind of an emergency.
Absolutely.
So, okay, let me just ask you, wrapping that up, give me a couple examples that are key issues to you on the Board of Education, like the reasons you're running. What are some of the things that you look into the Board of Education and say, I want to be on this board because this is coming up, this is coming up, and this is coming up, and I want to be a part of it?
Well, one of the big things that I want to try and push us forward on is an area of concern. It's one of the pillars of my campaign, life preparation for whatever path our students choose. And what I really mean by that is, and it's not just here in Pickens County, it's a state and federal curriculum, but there's a large emphasis, and has been for 2 decades now, on driving students towards college. And and there's nothing wrong with that, but what I want to do is make sure we're providing the opportunities and preparing students for whatever path they choose. College isn't the path for everyone, and we don't need everyone to go to college. If they want to go to a trade school, if they want to go into the workforce, apprenticeship, internship programs while they're in high school, we need to open up these opportunities to make sure we're not leaving students behind. Make sure whatever is best for them, that they're getting that preparation before they leave us. And that's one of the really big things that's important to me. We need to make sure we support our teachers, raise morale, that they have the resources they need in the classroom. School safety is a big hot topic. Need to make sure, I think Pickens County Schools does a fairly good job of putting an emphasis on school security. I think there's plans to continue that. I certainly want to advocate for that, making sure that we harden our schools, make sure we have a safe and secure school environment. If we can't protect our kids, everything else we do as a school system, doesn't matter at that point. So that's really important. And then also just continuing, philosophies that I feel really important to me. Fiscal responsibility, make sure we're justifying expensive taxpayer dollars, and then trying to be as transparent as we can as a school system.
Mr. Green, let me just say this. I don't push a candidate into a yes and no. That's totally up to you how you want to answer this. So I don't push a yes or no, but as tax increases or raising taxes, if elected during your term, would you do everything you can to avoid raising taxes on the citizens of Pickens County while in office?
Yes, I will do everything I can to prevent any type of tax increase to the school system. As far as where the school system goes, as far as taxes
right.
on the citizens. I'm for fiscal responsibility, as little taxes as possible, and as you said, we're at 17-something mils. We have a pretty high tax rate as it is, school system-wise. And I'm not saying that's not justifiable, but, I would do everything I can to try and make sure that we don't raise taxes on the citizens.
Mr. Green, I appreciate you coming in and being on the show. You have any final comments for the voters out there before we close?
Well, I just appreciate you for having me. We're getting a lot of momentum. I really enjoy getting to meet a lot of the citizens of Pickens County. I hope you'll continue to reach out to me. I'm going to try and reach out to you. I'd be honored to have your vote, Tucker Green, for Pickens County School Board. Early voting starts next week, April 30th, runs through May 18th, and that's weekdays, and then there's a Saturday, May 12th early voting day available. Primary will be May 22nd. So please make sure you get out and vote. Be honored to have your support. Thanks.
Thank you, Mr. Green. Like we always say at FetcherNews.com, we wish you well in your campaign, and we thank you for your willingness to want to serve the citizens of Pickens County. Thank you very much.
Thanks for what y'all do.
Good luck. Tucker Green, Board of Education, Pickens County Republican primary. We'll be right back after these messages with our next candidate.
Tupelo Tea mission is to provide over 80 premium tea blends for tea lovers who are looking for ways to explore new flavors and blends. Come visit Tupelo Tea, located in beautiful downtown Blue Ridge at Sycamore Crossing. Be sure to sample our various varieties of honey and tea. Visit us on the web at tupelotea.com or call us at 706-946-TEAS. That's TEAS. Tupelo Tea, located in beautiful downtown Blue Ridge.
Ace is your healthful place for paint and home goods, tools, outdoor living, and lawn equipment. But did you know Ace Hardware of Blue Ridge is a little bit more? We have hunting rifles and accessories for your next hunting trip. We have Amish furniture imported directly from Ohio. And we have Ace Custom Woodworks for all your custom wood project needs, from cabinets to artwork. Ace Hardware of Blue Ridge. We have your new house in stock.
Hi, I'm Rhonda the Mattress Lady, and this is my husband Gary, owners of Mattress Overstocked in Ella next to Walmart. And we want to earn your business. From the time you walk in our door to the time we deliver your new mattress to your door, you will see the difference. Our selection and prices are the best in North Georgia, and customer service is our top priority. So y'all come on in and let us help you find the right mattress at the right price. That's Mattress Overstocked in Ella next to Walmart.
Days ahead.
Yellow pollen means green cash at Days Chevrolet in Jasper. The spring savings event is on at Days, and the discounts are deep. Now save up to $11,000 off select new 2018 Chevy Silverados, or up to $6,000 off select new 2018 Equinox. Pick any Chevy you want and save a bunch during the spring savings event going on now at Days Chevrolet in Jasper, where new Chevys cost less.
Better days ahead. Days Chevrolet.
Find new roads.
What you gonna do with all that junk?
Hello, my name is Chad Watkins. I'm the manager at Larry's Body Shop. We are a family-owned and operated business and have been serving the North Georgia area since 1978. We are located at 1216 Progress Road in Ellijay, Georgia. Our shop specializes in collision repair, and we work with all major insurance companies. Larry's Body Shop is ICAR Gold, the highest role of training recognized by the collision repair industry. It is estimated that only 10% of collision shops meet these standards. Our shop consists of state-of-the-art equipment such as laser measurement system, down-drive spray booth, spot and MIG welding equipment. All of our paints are mixed on site so that we can guarantee your paint to match every time. I know that having an accident can be a stressful event. We take pride in making sure our customers are satisfied with the repair of their vehicles. Our waiting area is clean and comfortable with free Wi-Fi and refreshing beverages. So if you're in an accident, stop by and see us at Larry's Body Shop.
Circuit World, brand name merchandise at unbelievably low prices. Furniture, appliances, and electronics. Circuit World is locally owned and operated, serving the tri-state area. Circuit World has highly trained professionals to help. Visit your hometown Circuit World today. 3 locations in Georgia: Ellijay, Blue Ridge, and Blairsville, Franklin, and Murphy, North Carolina. No credit checks, so let Circuit World deliver to you today.
North Georgia Diamond is your source for diamonds. Come on in to view the area's largest selection of fine jewelry at North Georgia Diamond. All repairs and designs are done on site by our jewelers. And North Georgia Diamond has the lowest prices on loose diamonds. You can also sell your gold, silver, and coins at North Georgia Diamond between Walmart and Lowe's in East Ellijay. Locally owned by Bill and Allison Craig, North Georgia Diamond is your source for diamonds in North Georgia.
In 1981, Reed Nicholson began selling tires out of an old barn in Mineral Bluff. Little did he know that he had just laid the groundwork for the most trusted names in automotive services in the Blue Ridge area. In 1997, Nicholson Tire Center became what it is today, holding the same values of faith, family, and great customer service. 2 locations to serve you, and the Blue Ridge location is currently expanding to offer fast service and the largest U-Haul provider in Georgia. Nicholson Tire Center, Blue Ridge, and Mineral Bluff.
Medium Pizza Hut pizzas, just $5.99 each.
Did they say Pizza Hut?
For $5.99?
Yes, and yes.
Yes. Introducing the deal you want on the pizza you crave. 2 medium pizzas, just $5.99 each. No one out pizzas the Hut.
One.
Okay, folks, we're back. I'm your host, BKP. Good morning from the office. We are North Georgia's only live online morning show. We continue our candidate interviews, and with me now, joining me on the phone, our next candidate is Republican primary candidate for Georgia Insurance Commissioner Jim Beck. Mr. Beck, how are you this morning?
Good morning. Fighting a little bit of a scratchy sore throat, I think, from pollen, but excited to be with you. Heard a lot of great things about you. Watched you a number of times, and I know you hear from him everywhere you go. But Joe McCutcheon is your biggest fan.
I do believe that. Thank you for that. I do believe that. Let me double on some of our conversation. Amanda, I can hear you in my ear. Let me double down on some of the conversation we were talking about at the debate. And here's a question I did not get to, and I want to start right out with that. If you remember Saturday, we had a time limit. It was an hour. And in fairness to all the candidates, when I asked who had to leave, somebody needed to leave. But you had just approached something when you made some comments concerning campaign finance.
Right.
And you had just gotten into that, and I really wanted to do about a 10-minute segment on that because I had everybody's campaign finance contribution sheets up on the screen.
Gotcha.
And so there's two questions I'd like to ask of you. Do you feel, if you're the next insurance commissioner of the state of Georgia, that you would ask your legislative liaison to ask the House or to pass legislation that says you can't, insurance commissioner, or no one could take money for a campaign from someone they regulate? Would you support that?
Well, here's the way the current law reads. The current law says you can't take it from an entity you regulate. For example, an insurance agency, I couldn't take a check from an agency. Like, for example, Chanda, State Farm Agency, I couldn't take a check on her company. I could take one from her individually. The way a lot of people get around that, and I'm opposed to this, but the way a lot of people get around it is they have their lobbyists do it. They have the lobbyists pay on behalf of the company, and it's just, to me, it's kind of laundering it. I think we need to look with greater scrutiny. One of the things that I decided to do, and I will tell you that I've had a lot of people say, Jim, that makes no sense, but I felt led to do it, and I did it. My wife and I are financing our own campaign. We're putting in $2 million of our own money. We have taken some donations from insurance agents and friends and church members and folks we work with, but it's very important to me to be able to walk into the job and open the door and sit down and do the job. And I don't know how you can do that with your hand in the pockets of everybody who you're regulating. And so I think this is a unique opportunity for Georgia voters to have somebody in that office who isn't beholding at all. Not just in, everybody gives lip service to that. Everybody says, oh, I'm not beholding to the special interest. Make no mistake about it. If I'm elected, it'll be because I got people's votes and because my wife and I put up our money betting on the people to do the right thing. And I think I can truly be independent that way. But absolutely, we need to look closely at that. Lobbyists giving money on behalf of clients. Let's face it, we all know where the money comes. When a lobbyist gives money, max out contribution to somebody, $6,600, we should have no illusions about where that money's coming from. It's coming from their clients, their insurance companies.
Let me. I don't want to interrupt you, but let me go back to the question just a minute. Let me go back to the question because I have read, and for clarification for our viewers, I read the campaign finance reports In fact, I need to get a life, I guess. But I read these things, and I do understand what you're saying. I will see, and I'm not going to say yours. I have yours in front of me, but I look at all the candidates, and for example, you take an insurance company, and for some reason, you find that everybody in the company wants to support you personally. So I understand that, and I'm not bringing you into this.
No, I understand.
But I know what you're saying. So there might be $10,000 from an insurance company, but everybody in the office, 10 people gave $1,000, but they still have to state they work for an insurance company.
That's right. That's right.
So what you're saying is that's the loophole. So let me go back to my question. Would you, because looking at this, it's very concerning to the citizens of Georgia that their next insurance commissioner / fire safety be beholden to the citizens and concerned about the voters of Georgia, not the special interest. So would you make a direct answer on yes or no closing these loopholes so that no one in this office takes money from someone they regulate?
Well, I agree with you 100%. I mean, obviously, I'm putting my own money up so that I don't have to try to collect money through the back door and things like that. So I'm certainly supportive of following the spirit of the law. The problem that we get into sometimes is free speech. The Supreme Court has pretty strict limits on what you can do to limit people. So obviously that would certainly be something worth looking at. I'm willing to do it because I'm not using their money to run. I'm using my own money, my wife's money, our family's money to run. So it poses no problem for me. I think it probably poses problems for at least one of the candidates in the race to do that. It wouldn't pose a problem for me at all.
All right, let me go another direction on something. These are my words, okay? My words. Saturday, as I told you, I never brought up the current insurance commissioner, Ralph Hudgens, okay? My words, not yours. I feel out of all the offices on the ballot for election, okay, in November, this is the one true state office that has an absolute mess in it. Those are my words. This office is a mess, according to me. I don't know about you. I have read the audit. So what say you on the status of the current office, where it is, and what you think has to be done to turn the insurance commissioner's office around if you feel it's necessary?
Well, you alluded to the audit. What really prompted the House Appropriations Committee to ask for the audit was the fact that the Georgia Department of Insurance had to furlough 200 workers and lay people off, because it ran through its money. And so the legislature said, "Hey, wait a minute, what's happening over there? You're laying people off." First time since probably 2008 that any state agencies had to furlough. You recall Sonny Perdue had to do some statewide furloughs, but this was an agency-only kind of thing. And so, sure, there are absolutely problems there that have to be addressed. They're systemic problems. I wish I could say that they were problems in the last year or two. These are problems that have been going on for quite some time. Part of the difficulty with the way that their folks have been running that audit has been, or folks have been running that department, has been they have not been going back to the legislature and asking and moving through the appropriate appropriations channels. You should go to the legislature and ask for money to be appropriated to cover the needs of your programs, and not move money from one fund to another, because what that does, it sounds easier, but it's really wrong, because what you're doing is you're breaking faith with the legislature. You're supposed to go to the legislature as an agency head and say, okay, here's my mission under the law, here's what you want me to do, here's what we believe we can do it for. What would you like me to do? Because it's a partnership between the legislature and that agency. The agency doesn't operate by itself. It's a partnership. And so when you have a situation where you're not going to listen, it's hard. I've been there. It's hard to sit on the other side of the budget committee table and to justify why you're asking for what you're asking for. But that's discipline. If you can't justify it to them, you probably don't need it. And it builds a muscle that it forces discipline. And it's the closest thing we have to something that creates a situation where you're reducing fat in government because you don't have the profit motive in government like you do in private industry.
Let's take a couple of those things that you brought up. Okay, the agency has a legislative liaison. You send somebody down there at the beginning of session or somewhere throughout the year and start talking about legislation that the commissioner feels may need to be put in place for the office, for the agency. So let's go there for a minute. Now, what you're talking about is currently there's been moving, the shell game that I call it. I don't. Some say that the current insurance commissioner has moved money over from almost $8 million in fire safety, has moved that around, not used that appropriately is what I've been told. But the audit also talks about the fraud investigation division, which is supposed to have $4 million budgeted for the Services of Special Fraud program. And the current commissioner had moved $3 million of that over to administrative and only left $1 million in there. Now, here's my question that I did not get, and I'm going to say from all three candidates, I did not get a clear answer Saturday. So you're right. You're supposed to go back to the legislature and say, hey, I don't have the money to operate. Are you saying, what happens in 2019 with you as the commissioner if elected? Do you go back and say, look, there's a $21.5 million budget for basically the last 3 years. What do we do to get all of these things funded properly? Do you have to raise this budget to operate this office? What say you?
Well, I think the first thing you have to do is you have to stop using the fraud money to plug holes, because that's against the law. I mean, the first thing you have to do is you have to behave properly.
Yeah, but wait a minute. If you don't take the fraud money to plug holes, I'm sorry for interrupting you, sir, but if you don't take the fraud money to plug holes, which I understand you didn't do that, it's currently been done, and if you don't take that and you push it back over, then where the money that was taken out of there went to try to cover these major raises and things that happened and positions, that's where I'm trying to get an answer. Do you have to go back and get $3 to $5 million more to operate this, to fully put everybody in place to operate this agency? I'm sorry, I didn't mean to, but I mean, that's what I'm saying.
No, that's fine. I'll be honest. I've started a business. I know what it's like to sign the front of a paycheck. I'm very, very reluctant to go back and ask for more money from the legislature. Now, having said that, I think the legislature would not want to have a conversation with you about more money until you had done the due diligence and said, hey, we fired these people, we moved these people around, we privatized this, we've done these things. So I think that's the first step, is to make the priority be spending what you have currently in the most judicious fashion. For example, why do we have 3 floors or 2.5 floors of real estate in downtown Atlanta? I mean, people you can have regional offices and rolling offices and have consumer service investigators. We used to send people to the courthouse. They'd sit at the courthouse and move from county to county. There's a lot of out-of-the-box thinking that hasn't been done there that could be done. But, ultimately, once you do all the due diligence, you still have to fulfill the mandates of the office. And you owe it to the legislature to tell them, here's what we've done. Here's what we are not going to be able to do unless there's more money appropriated. But having said that, that ought to be the last result.
All right, it ought to be the last. Yeah. And let me be clear to our audience out there, this gentleman, Mr. Beck, joining us is a candidate. He is not in the office. It is an open seat. The insurance commissioner's seat in the state of Georgia is open. Current Commissioner Ralph Hudgens is not seeking re-election. So that being said, we're not talking about things that actually happened on your watch, but we're talking about things that happened. So let me just frame this, because you say it should be the last resort. The audit, 12 staffers were laid off, okay? 212 agency workers were furloughed for 4 days, all right, to balance this budget. The audit said that in 2014 and 2017, the agency handed out more than 300 pay increases without requesting additional funding from the General Assembly. The pay increases added about $2.2 million to the agency spending in 2017, which we see in the audit, the 2.2, a big portion of that was pulled out of the fraud fund, okay?
Right.
Now, let's stay right there for a minute. what do we do in 2019? Because the budget is still $21.5 million. When you say it's the last thing, do we cut staff that maybe is not necessary in this agency? Is it overbloated? What is the answer in fitting in the 21.5 is what I can't get to. And trust me, I've asked the other candidate, and one candidate won't return my phone call. But that's what I'm asking.
He must not have liked your debate. I thought you did a fair job for everybody on Saturday, but so here's the thing. Yes, it's very possible you'll have to walk in and cut salaries. I mean, I've done that in private business. I mean, for the past 6 years, I've run an organization that exists to help people get insurance on their home and business when they can't. I can think of 3 or 4 examples where I went to somebody and said, "Look, I know you're making $80,000, but the job that I have now available for you to do, the reconfigured job, I can only pay you $50,000, and you know, I'm happy to let you take that job, and I'm happy to give you a letter of recommendation to move on." I mean, yeah, those are tough conversations to have, but you have to have them, and it's going to take a while. It is a mess, and it's going to take a while to clean it up. I think it'll probably take 2 legislative sessions to get the office back in the shape where it belongs, and I think we can get there, but it's going to take a while. It didn't get in a mess overnight. It's not going to be cleaned up overnight. And frankly, here's I guess what I'm trying to say, Brian. The problem is, if you walk to the legislature and say, "Just give me more money," you might just be putting a Band-Aid on the infection. You've got to go through the hard work of getting out what's causing the problem, cleaning out the wound, then you can start doctoring it. And my fear is that if you just went to the legislature and said, "Give me $5 more million," that would not be the kind of discipline you need to make sure that that infection doesn't just come right back and right back and right back. We've got to get the foundations right. My wife and I buy a good bit of rental property over the years. The first thing you do is you look under the crawl space, you make sure the foundation is solid. And we've got to get that right first. And the foundational things first is to make sure, are we appropriately staffed? Do we have people that are overpaid? Are people doing the job that they're being asked to do? Have we outsourced what we need to outsource? Are we putting too many cars on the road? Or do we have too much real estate that we're leasing? What are we paying for copy paper? On and on and on, top to bottom.
So you're saying, and point well taken, you're saying first step is just a complete review of the agency, not just go ask for the money, and you would come back to the voters here, the citizens of Georgia, and give us a report on that agency. Do you feel an outside audit needs done, or can you do it internally?
No, I think the State Department of Audit has been very independent with the audit. They're the ones that surfaced this problem. So I think they would be the State Department of Audit. Let me say this, just to give you an example of my background. I started the business at age 19 in my dorm room that I grew to 36 employees in 7 years. The business I run now had not made a profit for 4 decades until I arrived. So I know what it's like. You don't raise your prices to solve the problem. You don't cut to solve your problem. It's a combination of a variety of things. You know, it's like a family budget. You go out and pick up an extra job to make ends meet, but you also sneak your Twizzlers into the movies if you get to go to the movies. You don't buy the movie Twizzlers. You know, I mean, there's a lot of things you do. So it's a combination of both.
All right, let me move on to another subject. We got a couple more before we close this morning. This is a paragraph out of an AJC article. Hudgens has been criticized as the auto. There's a couple things we want to look at here. Hudgens has been criticized as the auto insurance rates rose by those who thought he took too much of a hands-off approach. Last year he issued a consumer alert when Allstate filed for an average rate hike of 25%, but the commissioner wound up saying there was nothing he could do to stop it because of state law he supported when he served in the Senate. Let me box that up in a couple ways. One, I know we don't love or like to talk about regulations. There is a state law, could you explain to our voters, in the Senate that he issued a stern warning on a rate hike coming of 25%. Do you not feel that these insurance companies should not have to come through your office on rate hikes and some kind of oversight on that before the customer gets them?
That I'm glad you brought that up because it gives me a chance to clear up some misinformation. They still have to file at the Department of Insurance.
Right, they do. Yes.
Right? And what happens now is they are deemed to be okay in the commission unless the commissioner says they are not. He still has 30 days to say yes or no to that filing. And so the only difference was, think of it as opting in versus opting out. Prior to 2008, the insurance department, the insurance companies would come and say, may we use this? And he would say yes or no. Well, now what they do is they come and say, we're going to use this, and he still can say no. And that's been the problem. He hasn't said no. There's two parts to the law. There's the law and there's the implementation of the law. I tell you this, I'm all for repealing that law if that's what people want to do. But I actually think there's enough tools in the commissioner's drawer right now to try to stem some of these rate increases without adding any new laws. I mean, but because be assured as commissioner, I'm not going to be reluctant to say no. I mean, just because you lay it on my desk and say, all right, I'm going to use this, you got 30 days to say yay or nay. No is in my vocabulary just like the word yes is.
All right, let me say this. A couple more subjects. I appreciate you, and let me know if you have to go.
No, I'm good.
Okay. Would you approve, be in favor, or would open up to look into selling or supporting if the government, if the feds say yes, supporting selling insurance across state lines?
Yes, absolutely. The challenge is, so that's a wonderful idea. The challenge is that Blue Cross Blue Shield Tennessee doesn't want to compete with Blue Cross Blue Shield Georgia because they're basically a franchise. And they operate, it'd be like one McDonald's moving in next to the other. So the problem is the law.
Yeah, but Burger King might want to move in.
Right. So here's the difference. We're basically down to, we need to think a little more creatively than just traditional insurance companies solving the problems. How about this? What if the regional hospital system wanted to get together and sell an insurance policy to a family for primary care? What if the regional hospital system wanted to take $300 a month from a husband and wife and say, okay, we'll take care of the first $25,000 or $50,000 of your medical expenses, or $100,000 of your medical expenses? What if they wanted to do that? What if a group of physicians wanted to get together and do that? We've got to change the model. We've got to the way to really get competition in place is to encourage some. For example, if the school system wanted to go and directly contract with hospitals and say, okay, all of our people live up here. We'd like you to provide the insurance for them. We'd like them to use your physician panel, and then, of course, if they use their own, there'd be a slightly less reimbursement. I think we've got to do something like that. What if the ambulance service wanted to do wellness checks on people while they were waiting for a call? I mean, I think there's a lot of opportunity to think outside the box. Cross-state line selling, absolutely, I'm for it. I would encourage it. I would promote it in any way I could. But I also want to see doctors and physicians become direct providers of services so that they can cut out the middleman of an insurance company.
Okay. I didn't mean to interrupt you. Be rude.
No,
I've got to move on. There's $8 million in this budget of $21.5 million for fire safety. You would be nominate or appoint the next fire marshal for the state. Now, on that side, there's some criticism. I'll use that word. And this is the current administration, not the one. Obviously, you're not the current commissioner. But there's some criticism in the current administration there of the agency that fire safety has not been attended to properly. Positions are not filled. There. Even to the point that there was an attempt to pass SB 319, which would move fire safety out from under this agency. Now, that being said, there's possibility of using local people to do inspections.
Oh yeah.
This agency's oversees elevators, nursing homes, hospital, courthouses, schools. In South Georgia, they do not. Now, a lot of the outlying counties of Atlanta do have the money, but a lot of South Georgia counties just do not have fire marshal funding, and are in need of these services and feel they're not getting them from this agency. So you said, I want to be the one to fix this. SB 319 would move it out of the way. I don't want to quote you, but you said, no, you didn't support that. You use your own words. You want to be the one to fix that area. So let's revisit that, and how do we fix that area?
So let me tell you this. That is the one area that we cannot shortchange. Life and safety. I mean, that would be the one area where I would have no reluctance to go back to the legislature and say, these critical positions are not filled, here's why, and we need the resources to fill them. Because those fire inspectors inspect nursing homes, hospitals, prisons, daycare centers, you name it. And you're absolutely right. In most jurisdictions in Georgia, it's a state fire marshal. I can't tell you how many times in the time I worked in the insurance department that I would get a phone call from the school superintendent on a Thursday night that said, hey, the schools are supposed to open here on Monday, and I've got mobile classrooms that haven't been inspected. I can't get a fire marshal down here to inspect them. So it's a real problem. And nursing homes, listen, let's face it, we're living in an increasing time of aging population. Georgia has become a retirees' haven. We don't need, God forbid, a tragic nursing home fire make headlines all over the world. I mean, we've got to we can't shortchange our senior citizens. One of the things I propose, for example, is doubling the penalties on people that commit fraud against seniors and veterans. I mean, I'm passionate about, my grandmother raised me. I'm passionate about that. And we've got to take care of people that are vulnerable, and we can't leave those positions unfilled. And that's what frustrates the fire service, is there's this feeling that they're the redheaded stepchild of that office. And that certainly should not be the case. I assure you that wouldn't be the case after I was there for a year.
Okay, let's wrap up two things. Last but not least, in 2011, it's not in 2011. This is February 22nd of this year. But Dale Russell, Fox 5 I-Team, did a story. Were you, yes or no, the chief of staff? Were you the chief of staff, insurance commissioner to Ralph Hudgens in 2011?
I was.
You was. Okay. Now, I understand your personnel file doesn't reflect this because Hudgens wrote in your personnel file that current commissioner that invaluable leadership and Jim will be sorely missed.
Gave me a proclamation in my honor and a going away party and a cake.
Okay. Then Commissioner Hudgens, who has supported another candidate for insurance commissioner, it sounds like you had a little bit of a bad split with him. He said, being honest with him and the industry group, I told him he needed to find something else to do. I totally lost confidence in him, Hudgens told Dale Russell. I told him he needed to find something else. And it said, I'm pretty much sounds like a firing. Did that exchange not take place with you and the current commissioner? And what happened to that position with you in the insurance commission agency?
It never happened. That exchange never happened. The commissioner is rewriting history. That's why people hate politics. He's rewriting history. Here's a guy who gave me a going-away party and a proclamation in my honor and has said nothing but great things about me publicly. His wife collaborated with me on a book I wrote for consumers about insurance. She collaborated on the budgeting chapter. I considered him a friend. I was shocked when I saw that on TV because it just didn't happen. And the commissioner is desperate to get his hand-picked successor put into that job. Frankly, the industry is desperate. You alluded to the financial disclosures. I mean, I don't have insurance company lobbyists maxing out to me, nor do I want them.
You don't have them maxing out. Wait a minute. You don't have them maxing out. But do you have any lobbyist contributions to?
I have no insurance company lobbyist contributions.
All right. Okay.
Yeah.
Let me say this. It does say in this report. It does say that you sent Dale Russell the 2011 proclamation signed by Commissioner Hudgens, saying what a great job you had done in the department.
Yeah, I was shocked.
And it does go on to say, it sounds like he has endorsed. Obviously, he has concerning the campaign finance. The Friends of Hudgens has actually
maxed out.
Yeah, maxed out to another candidate. But that being said, so you didn't that exchange did not happen.
Never happened.
All right, but it said you went on to be general manager for a private insurance company called Georgia Underwriting Associate. Are you general manager there? Are you the owner? Who are you?
Oh no. I have stepped down from that position to run for office. That organization is an organization that exists to provide insurance to people in their homes and businesses if they can't get it in the voluntary market. So, for example, if you're denied coverage, and a lot of times people can be denied coverage because of their credit, then Georgia Underwriting exists for that purpose. I was elected by the board to be their general manager in the fall of 2011, and I assumed my position there January 2nd, 2012. And that's the company that I led that had not made a profit in 40 years and then is now profitable.
All right. So who is Georgia Underwriting's associate? Because it says Jim C. Beck Sr., president, and $4,260 in kind for mileage. So is this still something? I mean, you stepped down, but are you still associated with Georgia Underwriters Associates?
I'm sorry, in mileage, $4,200 a mile. What now?
Well, no, I'm looking at the campaign finance because at the same time you're telling me you stepped down as a general manager. Is this not the same Georgia Underwriting Association that is on your campaign finance report? And it is an in-kind contribution on mileage for $4,260.
No, that's a personal contribution. I'm the employee. At the time, I was an employee, and I gave my money to put gas in the car.
Okay, because it said, well, this is your campaign contribution. It says you're the
president. But listen to me, Brian.
I'm listening. I don't want to misrepresent anything.
That was filed. This is a big deal you're into. I'm still technically on the payroll to the end of April.
Okay.
I was the president at the time that was filed. I put gas in my own car.
Fine.
And I was required to explain, and let's get this right. I was required to say who I worked for. That's who I worked for.
I understand.
Yep. They didn't make a contribution to me.
No.
My wife and I put the gas in the car.
No. It's in kind, and I respect. I respect your answer.
No, it's not in kind from them. I was their employee.
No, it's in kind from you.
From me, but I was their employee at the time.
Okay, I got it. No. I was just going through here giving you an opportunity because I have been because I see Georgia Underwriters Associate, Jim Beck, president, advertising with the newspaper. That's your occupation that you're listed as. I understand you have to list your occupation. Okay. And no, sir. I'm not trying to draw a conclusion on your campaign finance. It is something because you said you have lent the campaign a couple $1 million to run this. So, and I'm not trying to highlight anything negative where that's concerned. So
no, I appreciate that. The Georgia Underwriting appears, but only because that was my employer at the time we filed the report.
Yes, you do have to. You have to
say who you work for.
Okay, all right. Because I have looked extensively at the other one, and I do know who maxed out Friends of Hudgens, and I happen to say you didn't make the Friends of Hudgens list.
No, I did not. I don't think I will.
that I will give you. You did not make the Friends of Hudgens list on your campaign finance.
I don't think I'll get invited to the Christmas party.
Well, Mr. Beck, I've enjoyed having you on the show.
Thank you so much.
I appreciate you just letting me come out with the questions and taking one by one and answering those. Would you like to make any kind of final statement to the voters before we close this morning?
Check out my website, Jim Beck for Georgia. It has my day one priorities. I'm clearly not the pick of the current commissioner. I'm clearly not the pick of the insurance industry. But I offer a blend of public and private sector service, and frankly, I'm putting my own money on the table so that I can go in there hands untied, unfettered, and do the job for the people of Georgia.
Thank you for giving us all this time, sir. We greatly appreciate it. You have a nice day. Okay, folks, that concludes our interview with Republican primary candidate Jim Beck for insurance commissioner in the state of Georgia. We're going to take a brief break and come back and wrap up the show.
I swear it's the truth, and I owe it all to you. I'll tell you something. This could be love because I've had the time of my life. I've never felt like this before, 'cause I've had the time of my life.
The Tupelo Tea mission is to provide over 80 premium tea blends for tea lovers who are looking for ways to explore new flavors and blends. Come visit Tupelo Tea, located in beautiful downtown Blue Ridge at Sycamore Crossing. Be sure to sample our various varieties of honey and tea. Visit us on the web at tupelotea.com or call us at 706-946-TEAS. That's TEAS. Tupelo Tea, located in beautiful downtown Blue Ridge.
Ace is your helpful place for paint and home goods, tools, outdoor living, and lawn equipment. But did you know Ace Hardware of Blue Ridge is a little bit more? We have hunting rifles and accessories for your next hunting trip. We have Amish furniture imported directly from Ohio. And we have Ace Custom Woodworks for all your custom wood project needs, from cabinets to artwork. Ace Hardware of Blue Ridge. We have your new house in stock.
Hi, I'm Rhonda the Mattress Lady, and this is my husband Gary, owners of Mattress Overstocked in Ella next to Walmart. And we want to earn your business. From the time you walk in our door to the time we deliver your new mattress to your door, you will see the difference. Our selection and prices are the best in North Georgia, and customer service is our top priority. So y'all come on in and let us help you find the right mattress at the right price. That's Mattress Overstocked in Ella next to Walmart.
Days ahead. Yellow pollen means green cash at Days Chevrolet in Jasper. The spring savings event is on at Days, and the discounts are deep. Now save up to $11,000 off select new 2018 Chevy Silverados, or up to $6,000 off select new 2018 Equinox. Pick any Chevy you want and save a bunch during the spring savings event going on now at Days Chevrolet in Jasper, where new Chevys cost less.
Better days ahead, Days Chevrolet.
Find new roads.
What you gonna do with all that junk?
Hey, we're back, folks. I'm your host, BKP. Good morning from the office, North Georgia's only live online morning show. We have candidate interviews daily. I better not put my coffee there. I better set it over here. Where are we at? It's like, I got to say, where are we at? Here's where we're at. Amanda, what do you have? Did I do that live? I'm your host, BKP, and it's time for Amanda. Do you want me to write you an opening song?
No, please, no.
I can. I could do intro music for you.
No.
I can.
Please don't. I get an intro song every morning when I get into the office, okay? I don't need any more intro songs.
Hey! Okay. That wasn't... You're not supposed to tell them that I sing in the morning.
Just so you guys know, it's like a musical in here every morning at 7:30.
A musical.
Right when I come through the door.
I'm writing a musical.
It's a musical.
It's an off-Broadway hit. Okay. That's exactly what the hell we are, is an off-Broadway hit. Okay, what do you have for us this morning, Amanda, that you've been looking up?
You've left something out of the news this week, and I wanted to share Yeti. All right.
Oh, I threw my cup away yesterday.
So, okay. So on Monday, was that Monday, Sam? Yeah. We were on a rant about should we toss our Yeti cups or not. Because, okay, the NRA, it was Morrison, wasn't it Morrison, that released a statement that the NRA and Yeti are no longer doing business with each other because Yeti has dropped them from, as their vendor. That was a statement that was made on Friday by the NRA. Right. Well, Yeti comes back yesterday with that is not true, that they are pro Second Amendment and they are totally for guns and are youth sports. But Yeti didn't differentiate, are you still supporting the NRA or not? And so everyone is going nuts on social media right now that that's not true, that's fake media, that's fake media. I never saw where Yeti did confirm or not if they actually dropped the NRA, which the NRA clearly stated that they did.
Well, what happens, and let me just say, what happens is these corporations send out a memo, right, and the note says we are no longer, as of this day, going to affiliate our products with your organization. Okay? Right. Now, it does not say we are not Second Amendment supporters. It does not say we do not believe in the Constitution. It does not say we do not want you to drink your coffee out of our Yeti cup while you're duck hunting. It just says, as of this day, we no longer are going to have an association with your organization and be listed on our website, right, or our name listed on your website. Okay, so I understand Yeti's getting the backlash, which is true, but this is NRA, okay? Right. So the Yeti's getting the backlash, and Yeti, I guess I have to say thank you. We should say thank you to Yeti because, every one of these stories, Amanda, the NRA's membership keeps going through the roof. Right. So what you're saying is Yeti come back, but they didn't come back with, we support the NRA. They didn't come back and say, we support you if you're an NRA member. Just, we support the Second Amendment, gun rights, and so on. But
in our youth sports. Their big thing was the youth sports because the NRA took a big jab at them that they did not support the youth sports and the youth gun knowledge. So. Okay,
well, I threw my Yeti cup away. And right now, the only thing I can think of if I hear like gun violence is I am happy they caught the naked Waffle House shooter.
Me too.
Yeah, you know what? But now let's go. I
want to eat my Waffle House in peace.
I tell you what, I don't know about a window seat right now between a plane, sitting in at the Chinese restaurant.
I can't go to Chinese restaurants or Waffle Houses anymore.
Oh my gosh. Anyhow, but how about the guy? I don't have the picture, but the guy that had the nerve to grab the gun. I got to give him his props, man. Yeah. He had the nerve to grab this gun. All right, let's stay with Yeti, and let's go to Dick's Sporting Good, okay? Mm-hmm. And Yeti. Okay, so I announced the Fannin County High School baseball games, and I'm not, easy, folks, easy. I'm not bringing Fannin County High School baseball parents and kids into it other than I watch these kids come up to bat. And they have $450 bats. So I'm up there one night.
And Are you serious?
No, this is true. And a kid hits the ball, and something happened to the bat, and the dad sitting there close to me says, well, there goes $450 because the bat broke or something. And then the next kid comes up, and there's something in that area, and he got a nice hit, and the dad said, well, that was a nice hit. It should be for a $450 bat. So let's make this clear with Dick's. Chill.
The bat. Why would you pay for it? Don't even. I can't even.
Let's not get the price of the bat confused, okay? Folks, Dick's is not interested in the portion of the business that has the hunter, the gun, the ammo. It's not interested in it. It's there. It is there for you, okay? But Dick's wants to sell kayaks to strap on a Subaru, okay? Dick wants to sell frog shoes to go in the river. Dick wants to sell, tents for you to go camping. They want to sell $450. They want to sell soccer cleats, okay? So Dick's Sporting Goods taking AR-15s and melting them down or whatever they're doing. They never intended to. They want you in their store, but they want to paint the illusion that they will let you go duck hunting. But they really want your kayak money. That's who they want in the store. Do you understand what I'm saying, Amanda?
Yeah. And let me tell you something else about Dick's, back to the baseball bat story. So one time I walked into Dick's, and I've got a Dick's right by my house. And I walk in, and we're big legging fans around here. Needing some leggings. I love Under Armour. Like, I'm a big Under Armour person. Walk in, go to the leggings. Look at the price tag. It's $80. Walk right back out.
Hey, wait just a minute. Did you bring me into a leggings story? No, that's what I can't gloss over.
I mean, that's all I have to say about Dick's, because I don't shop at
Folks,
Dick's.
Dick's, where Amanda says the leggings are way overpriced. Do you have anything else this morning?
I do not, but... So,
but means you have something else.
Let me tell you something.
Okay.
I did, which, I mean, a lot of it just had to do with cleaning stuff out. And I was a big Yeti person. I did keep this Yeti cup because I'm very partial to it. But I'm still on the fence about it right now. Because... will you pick and choose what you do in public and let the audience know you're on the fence about something? I just can't. Here's Sam.
Okay, but for the record.
Oh, Lord, I only got 5. On the record, Sam, for the record.
Coolers that are like $400 coolers, they can just bring them to me.
Yeah, give them to me.
I'll take your Yeti coolers. Do not shoot holes in the Yeti cooler. Just bring them to Sam.
I tell you what. You want Sam is requesting anybody that wants to dispose of a $400 Yeti cooler, bring it to her. She'll spray paint it or something so she looks like it protested it.
But this started out as a NRA versus Yeti issue. This is not a Yeti versus Second Amendment issue, which was the issue at hand.
Okay, back to me, Phil.
All right.
I have 10 minutes. I have to do something else, okay? So, folks, thank you very much, Amanda. I appreciate that. I agree with you 100% on the Yeti Cup discussion of the day. All right, let me say this. Anwan. Let's pull up the Anwan brothers, okay? Anwan and Deborah Wasserman Schultz. Now, I don't have enough time to really dig this story out. Okay? Could you pull up Debbie and Anwan instead of you guys high-fiving over a Yeti cooler? So, the DNC, Tom Perez, Tony Perez, whoever, okay? They have decided that they're got nothing, so they're going to sue. All right, put up Anwan and Debbie, or whatever the name of the picture is, okay? Well, they got 9 minutes left in there. They're still high-fiving over a Yeti cup. Anyhow, so the DNC says, hey, we've got mounds of evidence, all right? Here is something that just is not being talked about. This is Deborah Wasserman Schultz. So this would be the DNC chair. At the time, Tom Perez, boom, this is the DNC chair, okay, that is in the seat the day the email server at the Democrat National Committee is hacked. That when the FBI showed up to the door, said, no, we got it. We got our own people going through it. We'll figure it out. We'll call you if we need you. Only people in the world that get to tell the FBI at the door. Not Michael Cohen. No. Not Michael Flynn. No. Not the slimy guy that did Paul Manafort. No. But the DNC is the only place that gets to tell the FBI, just, they cracked the door. Who is it? FBI, ma'am. We got this. We'll figure out who hacked the server. We're going to call you when we have the information. Only place in the world. I'm serious. It sounds so silly, but think about it, absorb that for the truth that it is. So, Awan, okay? Deborah Wasserman Schultz is the DNC chair. She is the one that has to resign in disgrace about the time of, let's go ahead and put Seth Rich with this group just to give it some extra flavor. Seth Rich is dead, okay? So let's just put it so the audience can see Seth. Yeah, there's Seth Rich, Anwan, and Deborah Wasserman Schultz. And Deborah Wasserman Schultz went to Seth Rich's funeral there, and it's just a sad day when that DNC staffer got killed in a nonviolent area. No wallet gone, nothing missing, just killed. It's a shame. The guy went into the bar for a drink, couldn't even stumble home without getting murdered. Anyhow, that being said, so Deborah Wasserman Schultz here, the emails are hacked, right? And so she has to resign in disgrace. And then we have Donna Brazile, the lady with the purple hair. What the hell? Purple hair. So Donna Brazile takes over. Then we find out that she gave Hillary Clinton the question. So the whole mess. But Anwan, Pakistani. Now they have blown this up. See, the Mueller investigation has gone here, and it's there. And now it's getting ready to go from here to here. But we got to have a couple people with the nerve to take it the next distance. Maybe Rudy Giuliani, not Jeff Sessions. Pakistani mystery man now in possession of docs Wasserman Schultz wanted suppressed. This comes from the Western Journal. A key, if uncovered, aspect of the Pakistani mystery man story in the Anwan Awan, guy in the middle, the Pakistani-born IT aide, he is the IT aide, we're looking for those computers, of former DNC chief Deborah Wasserman Schultz, took a laptop with usernames Representative DWS after he was banned from the House Computer Network for unauthorized access to data. So he was in the House computer, not Debbie's house. He wasn't in the lower level. He wasn't upstairs in the second room. He got caught, and he was in the house, your house, computer network for unauthorized access to data, and then left it in a phone booth with a letter to prosecutors. Really? On Friday, this story comes out, April 23rd. This is April 23rd, 2018, all right? Oh, that was yesterday. No, it did not make the top news today. It is not the lead story anywhere. Macron is the lead story. And the royals have another baby. On Friday, President Donald Trump tweeted, just heard the campaign was sued over obstructionist Democrats. This can be good news in that we now counter for the DNC server, and they refuse to give the FBI the Deborah Wasserman Schultz server and documents held by the Pakistani mystery man in the Clinton emails. Trump appears to have accurately identified a key issue with the Pakistani mystery man that comes straight from court documents. Lawyers for Pakistani-born Aran Awan currently have a copy of contents of a laptop with the username Representative DWS. Wasserman Schultz wanted to block prosecutors from seeing what was on it. Aron's lawyer have attempted to set up a situation where it is up to Amran whether prosecutors can see the laptop, claiming attorney-client privilege. Oh my God, no, hell no, not attorney-client privilege, just yesterday. Hell, where have we heard that? Other analysts say the laptop should be fair game for a review. Wait a minute, attorney-client privilege, fair game for a review. Wouldn't that be Michael Cohen and the President of the United States? And wouldn't that be the liberals yelling, it's a fair game for a review? Isn't that what Mueller's trying to do now? Crack, as Dershowitz said Sunday. Alan Dershowitz said His main objective is to get Michael Cohen to flip and to crack the attorney-client privilege clause. Fair game under review. On February 2nd, 2017, Enron was banned from the House Computer Network for making unauthorized access to congressional data, according to the House Inspector General. Now, this happened not long after Wasserman Schultz was fired from the DNC after a cyber breach, yet she refused to fire Enron. She refused to fire him or even put him on paid leave, claiming that an IT aide didn't need access the internet, didn't need to access the internet to do his job. Wasserman Schultz refused to fire him, meant he had continued physical access to congressional office building. On April 5th, 2017, despite not being allowed to connect to the House network, he was in possession of a laptop. Now, this list goes on and on. It continues to go on, and I don't have time because it's only 2 minutes left. But let me do this real quick, okay? This came out. This story came out. This is no thank you. Let me say no thank you to this website. This story came out on 4/1. Amanda, that would mean we're in the same month. Same exact month. This month. There's a trick to the DNC lawsuit that they're trying to pull a fast one. This came out this month. It may mess them up. On 4/1/2018 at 8:27 p.m., an article from the Daily Caller, 44 Democrats, including Wasserman Schultz, exempted Pakistani IT aides from background checks. They were exempted from background checks. Holy smokes, and Donald J. Trump cannot get people confirmed. But 44 Dems, including Wasserman Schultz, exempted Pakistani IT aides from background checks. Every one of the 44 House Democrats who hired him, Pakistani-born IT aides who later allegedly made unauthorized access to congressional data, appeared to have chosen to exempt them from background checks according to congressional documents.
Wow.
We're going to get back into this because let me tell you something. I got to make a call because I'm going to tell you something. I was on the phone the other day with former homicide detective Rod Wheeler, D.C., former D.C. homicide detective Rod Wheeler. The other day I was on the phone with him. We talk periodically. He told me to keep an eye on the Anwan brothers. Told me to keep an eye on Anwan. He said, stay focused on Anwan. And that's where we're at. It's 10 o'clock. What's that mean? Tomorrow's Wednesday. What's that mean? We'll be back at 8 a.m. What's that mean? Show is over. Later, folks.